Welcome back, everyone, to the Prospect Talk podcast. You're back with the crew. Danny, Eli, Doug, Fernando. What's up, boys?
How you boys doing? What's good?
Everybody doing good?
Yeah. So for the listeners, we usually Skype in Fernando, but Doug's actually out of town, so we're Skyping them both in. It's nice not to be like
next to Doug.
Yeah, not to be forced to have to share the same airspace as Doug. It feels good.
It's been a good fresher breath there.
No, in all seriousness.
So you can tell this is going to be the worst podcast.
Nah, this is going to be the best podcast. What do you mean? we only improve every podcast, man. What you talking about? We don't digress.
As long as we got Eli on here, this ain't going to be a good podcast.
Ooh. Damn, man. Why is there so much shit talking already?
Already? We haven't even gone like a minute into the podcast.
No, so actually, like, as we're recording this, just maybe a couple hours ago, the official word for the Rush trade just came in for him to go to Houston. So I think we have to kind of start with that, right, boys?
Yeah, let's dive right into it.
Boys are back together.
What do you guys think about that?
Not everybody at once.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
When I first heard it, obviously it wasn't that long ago, the first thing that came to my mind was how those two players, they demand the ball a lot. So, how can you see them play together and with their usage rates being so high? You know what I mean?
I think that's a major concern for everyone. I mean, that's in a league that's filled with, surrounded by shooting and ball movement. I don't see that happening in Houston.
Yeah, they get into a lot of the same spaces on the court. They almost have a similar game, the way they drive to the basket. Somebody's going to have to take it back a little.
James is a shooter, though. He's more of a shooter than Westbrook.
Yeah, but James gets to the free throw line more than anybody.
Yeah, that's correct.
I think they're going to be like trading on and off.
And I think Harden is.
They're going to both average like 60 shots a game, and the rest of the teammates are going to.
Well, they're not going to win that way.
No, absolutely not.
That's not a formula to win. They need to find somebody needs to take it.
It'll be fun.
Okay, but we're talking about them. Like,
we're talking about like if you're the GM and you want them to be successful. I think.
Doesn't Russ have to like accept a new role? You would say.
Of course, but is he capable of doing so?
Yeah.
I mean, he requested Houston and made that his number one destination.
That's all good, but I don't think Russ is also aware of like who he is. You know what I mean? As a player.
Well, he's going to have to do something. Think
about it. Every player that Russ has played with has essentially taken a back seat of some sort to Russ. Even when KD was there, there were moments where KD would allow to be take over, but everything kind of ran through Russ still.
That's not going to fly here in Houston. This is Harden's team.
Correct.
It's the Beard Nation out there. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this really turns out. I really don't hope them the best, but, it'd be fun to see.
It's going to be a fun
If you want my honest opinion, you guys can say whatever. I think they are
we know your opinion.
Marginally better.
Oh, I think they're better.
I think they're better, but it's like barely. I think they're barely better. The reason for that is because a team like that, where, let's be real, who are the shooters on that team? Harden and PJ?
Eric Gordon.
Oh, sorry, and Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still don't have much shooting there.
CP3 is a better shooter than
exactly.
Westbrook.
So what you need from Russ is to be a good facilitator. And unfortunately, I think that Harden's a better facilitator than Russ is in terms of a cohesive offense.
I've been seeing memes about I think you retweeted it actually. They both have 9 rebounds and
they're at the free round.
They're at the free throw line. No, sorry, Clint Capella's at the free throw line, and they're staring each other down to who's gonna get this rebound for the triple double.
Yeah, it's gonna be battle of the triple doubles for them.
Who can get the most triple doubles?
But you know what? I think James Harden's triple doubles are more organic and in the flow of the offense than Russ's are.
I can agree with that.
So I feel that's the reason why I say I think he's a better facilitator and he's a
better player, period.
Correct. He can score in any which way possible. He's one of the most lethal scorers in the league. It's just going to be weird to see how that works.
Is there any winners in this trade? Who's the winner? Who's the loser?
Well, I definitely still think that.
Houston won.
I think Houston won.
I think they're both won.
I think they're both losers, to be honest.
Okay, OKC is a full rebuild. Go ahead.
So how does CP3 help you?
The only thing is you're not in rebuild mode with a $40 million contract on your hands still.
Bro, they're going to flip them.
They are.
They have to.
I think.
That has to be the plan.
Rumors to Miami.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. I think Woj came out saying that that Miami is still a possibility for
CP3.
Chris Paul. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But don't they have to wait 6 months before they can trade him again?
2 months.
2
months.
Yeah.
They have to wait 2 months to trade him again. And still, who's going to take on that kind of contract?
Miami.
Miami.
They had Whiteside's contract for a while. They don't mind taking bad contracts.
Yeah, but
They're paying Ryan Anderson $21 million, so I don't think they mind paying
No,
CP3.
that doesn't do much
We
for
waived
Miami
it,
either.
actually.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you waived it?
Yeah,
It's still $21 million.
I know. Let's not talk about that right now.
Chris Paul going to Miami is not.
It makes Miami better. I think Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler is a better duo than Westbrook and Butler because that would have been horrendous.
That would have been terrible.
They would have been slapboxing in the locker room.
in morale, yes, I agree that would have been tough. But as a Miami fan, you would have just loved to see like two,
No, not at all.
off-top
As a Miami fan, if I was a Miami fan, I would rather have CP3.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I would have this scenario more than the Russell Westbrook's.
Hold on, I have a question for you guys. Does Russ still average a triple double with Houston?
He can't, and if he does, they're not winning more than 45 games.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. He's gonna have
usage.
He's gonna have to learn how to kind of change his playing style to kind of fit with James Harden.
But do you think Russ is the kind of guy to do that?
He's gonna have to be.
If they're gonna be successful, they're gonna have to be. It's hard to say right now. This just happened 2-3 hours ago, so we're still digesting this. But
so we're talking a lot about maybe Russ changing his style of play. Do you think James Harden kind of adjusts his style of play?
That's his team.
Russ?
He shouldn't be asked to.
He shouldn't have to.
He will.
He will because I think
they're both going to have to.
I think Harden's a better team player than Russ is. I don't think either of their game styles complement each other. So it's a very, very poor fit, unfortunately. They're both guys that have the ball in their hands a significant amount of time in the game, and they work best when the ball is mainly in their hands. I don't see how that can work.
I kind of feel bad for CP3 a little bit.
Why?
Him being in OKC. Like, who wants to be there right now?
I don't feel bad about that $38 million.
Yeah.
He's about to be in Miami. Chill.
He better
He
hope.
should have signed that contract if you want to stay in Houston.
Okay, so let's get to some news that happened 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days ago.
So I think it happened the day after we filmed our last podcast.
So me and Doug made a bet on air that we both lost. Because that boy Kawhi Leonard...
Technically, I won that bet.
No, you didn't.
This guy's
Remember,
you said Lakers.
Nando. You remember? No, yeah, but I said I'll take the field. Remember, Nando?
Against Nando. You said that against Nando.
I tried to hop on the bet.
I mean, Doug, this is all recorded, so you can go on it and make yourself look like a fool.
I wasn't able to get into the bet in time, so.
But either way, and actually, Danny's here to attest for this. As soon as we stopped filming, Doug was like, "You guys know I was just joking, right?"
Facts.
I actually did hear that too, though.
That's facts.
That's the first thing he said.
He was like, "Yeah, I was just kidding."
I was just kidding. He's like, I don't believe that.
He's like, "Yeah,
I win a bet, and then these guys are all like, oh, no.
But you didn't win the bet.
Doug, are you going to sit here and lie to everybody right now?
Are you sitting here and lying?
I don't recall you saying that you were taking the field. I remember you saying that he was going to the Lakers.
No, he said that against Nando.
I said he'll look to the Lakers, and then you guys, and then Nando was like, "Oh, like is it only Lakers?" And I was like, "I'll take the field."
I do remember that.
Exactly.
And
He
Eli
said that.
I do.
All right, whatever. He's going to Toronto, so it doesn't
No,
matter.
I did not say that. So I did not say that.
I
Anyways, who cares? Who cares? We're getting off topic.
We'll listen back to the last podcast.
We'll listen back to it, and I'm gonna slap you in your face when I see you for lying.
No, you got to slap him back if he's wrong.
No.
Exactly.
Let's break down that move though. Let's break down that pairing.
All right, so we didn't even say the move. Kawhi Leonard goes to the Clippers, and even more shocking, is him taking Paul George with him. Who expected that?
Nobody.
You know who I know didn't expect that? Fucking Jalen Rose,
I
piece
was
of
just
shit.
about to say that.
Yeah. Jalen Rose looks like an absolute
I've
idiot.
never been happier in my life.
Chris
He said,
Broussard
so
looks like a piece of shit.
99% sure.
So a little breakdown of what was going on, because I read a lot of media reports afterwards, was that Toronto actually had worked out a deal.
Oh, yep.
Where they were essentially on the brink of signing the papers to bring over Russ and PG to Toronto and send them Siakam and picks. And that's the reason why a lot of people were saying Toronto was the favorite to bring back Kawhi. when Toronto kind of went back on that deal and said, no, we don't want to do that. We feel like that's too much.
While you're on that, let me just tell you the exact trade.
Yes, please.
So it would have been Paul George and Russell Westbrook for Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Serge Ibaka, 4 first-round picks, and 4 future pick swaps for PG and Russ. And Ujiri was like, no.
Yeah. So when that fell apart, and all honesty, maybe those guys were right, like Jalen Rose. Maybe they were right that Toronto was the favorite.
And they were going to do it
and
until
that trade broke down, and instead the Clippers offered a crazy
5 first-round picks and PG, which honestly was the second option for the Thunder, because they'd rather have Kawhi stay in the East than be in the West. But real quick, if you're Toronto and you're Ujiri, do you take that, or do you think he made the right decision?
I say he definitely made the right decision.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's just so much of. I mean, we said that the Clippers gave up a haul, but I think that's also a huge haul, and you're giving away some really core players on your team. So
yeah, as a Raptors fan, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I can say that.
Yeah,
Siakam's a promising talent. Him alone, I would want to keep on, hold on to him.
What were you gonna say, Doug?
I was just gonna say that I think that Toronto did the right move by keeping him. Like, I think Ujiri's the type of guy that knows where his core players are, and he can't be giving up all that assets for Westbrook, who has that huge contract, Paul George, and then maybe only keeping Kawhi 1 or 2 years.
And let's be real, Russell Westbrook has had 5 knee surgeries. After this current one that he's about to have, he's had 5 knee surgeries.
And another thing is,
how long can he hold up? You know what I mean?
Kawhi already brought you to the promised land. So he came, he did his job, he did his thing. So
through, yeah.
And then also Kawhi, PG, and Russ. I don't know how that big three meshes. But anyways, let's get back to the Clippers. Are they the favorites now? They have PG, Kawhi, Patrick Beverly, Lou Will, Montrezl Harrell. That's a defensive stud team.
If they're not the best defensive team in the league, then they've messed up somewhere. Because they 100% should be, on paper, that's the best defensive team.
Yeah.
You have 2 of the top 3 best two-way players in the league.
Correct.
PG and Kawhi.
And then you have Pat Bev, who's known to be one of the most tenacious defenders at the guard position.
Montrezl Harrell, a great defender.
He's all right.
I think
he's a very underrated. He was actually in talks for the Defensive Player of the Year. He finished 4th in the votings. But
you know who gives them a run for their money? Justice Winslow, Jimmy Butler.
Shut up.
Bam Adebayo.
Shut up.
Just log off.
Yeah.
I'm shook.
But that is
putting you on a timeout.
A really good defensive team.
And then Lou Will, Zubac. I mean, they have Shamet. Their team is loaded.
I feel bad for any team that goes in there trying to play against them. That's a very, very big undertaking.
So, are they the favorites? Because there's also a team that also plays in that building that got better as well. Maybe
that's going to be so exciting to watch.
I gotta say, so
that's great for the
Lakers got Boogie Cousins, Danny Green. The most underrated pickup, I think, is Avery Bradley.
That's a big pickup because they needed a point guard.
Yeah, that was
re-signing Rondo.
They went there cheap too.
So they got really good as well. KCP brought him back too.
I think the key for the Lakers is how well their second unit plays when LeBron and AD are rotating in and out. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, go ahead, Nando. I see you trying to talk.
I was just going to ask. So now that, LeBron is rumored to be starting at point guard, so does that mean that Rondo's coming off the bench?
Yeah, absolutely. Rondo's coming off the bench.
All right.
How do you think that works, though?
Oh, I love it. It's Showtime Lakers.
He should have done that last year.
That's going to be filthy.
Why didn't he do it last year?
Because they had Lonzo. I'd rather have Lonzo play the point.
It's going to remind me of Magic coming down the court.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be... You see Braun wearing the headband? Mm-hmm. He's calling himself Bruce Lee Braun?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and he's going back to the number 6. You can tell LeBron's feeling...
Yeah,
he's feeling good about this season.
Yeah, energized. Yeah. I love
Especially after being having a good rest now. Oh, I can't wait to see that.
And rightfully so, because LeBron got so much crap.
Bro, Braun just went to 8 straight titles. He has so much minutes on his body. Him not going to the playoffs was probably the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah,
because they weren't going to win it.
And I said it a couple podcasts ago. Everybody in the league needs to be worried about that guy Braun, regardless of who they signed, because he is coming off of rest.
And the media is fueling his fire because I've seen I forgot who, but somebody on the show. I forgot what network it was. It was ESPN, but I forgot what show. He did his top 5. He didn't even put Braun in it.
Idiot.
He didn't even put Braun in his top 5. Like, he misses one playoff, and people forget his position in the NBA. It's outrageous.
People love to hate him.
And it's also one of those things where I don't think people realize how good they have it. And they won't realize how good they have it with LeBron until he's gone.
We're victims of living in the moment, so I guess you kind of forgot about him, maybe?
Exactly. And let's be real.
Bro, like, they talked about the best player in the league about 4 different times. 4 different players during that playoff run.
It was Giannis. First it was KD when he was going off against the Clippers. And then it was Giannis. And then it was Kawhi. And then it stayed Kawhi.
No, the best player in the league is still LeBron.
Hands down.
Regardless, I don't care what anybody says. It's still LeBron. Maybe if Kawhi has a performance this upcoming season like he did last season, then you can start saying maybe Kawhi has a push because he's just such a great player two-way. Yeah. But it's still LeBron. LeBron had a terrible... People say LeBron had a terrible season this past season. He still averaged 28, 8, and 8.
So, I mean, we all like the position move for him to go to point guard. We think that helps out the team. How do you construct the starting 5, though? Who gets in? Who's out? Like, they have a lot of pieces. I think of course, AD, right?
Mm-hmm. At the 4.
At the 4.
Danny Green at the 2.
Are you starting Danny Green? I think
you
might have
Kuzma
to.
at the 2.
No, you start Green at the 2 and then Kuzma at the 3. And they already said Boogie's coming off the bench.
So JaVale will be at the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's not a terrible starting 5.
Not at all. And then in rotating, I mean, Boogie would play in the fourth quarter. JaVale would start, but Boogie would close.
Yeah.
And then you have Avery Bradley, who's probably their best on-ball defender.
Which is great because when you can put Avery Bradley and Anthony Davis on the floor together.
Absolutely.
And that's a good matchup.
Because you have to remember, Bron's not going to be guarding the point guard, even though he's playing point guard. He's not going to be running around here chasing stuff.
Exactly.
You know? So that's why you need that Avery Bradley. You need that Danny Green, KCP and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I just think that we came off of the best offseason in NBA history.
Yeah, because
it's exciting.
The land has shifted the power everywhere.
Yeah.
Thanos came and snapped his fingers, and now there's balance.
Yes. And I literally sat down the other day and I just thought about all the teams that can make a run, and I would feel like, okay, there can be a contender. Like
there's at least 5 teams that I take serious this year.
And then there's about maybe
6 to 10 where you're like, it won't surprise you if they do get in there.
Yeah, and then there's another 5 that are like, oh, they're still pretty good teams.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at the top of the threshold, you have what? You have obviously the Clippers, you have the Lakers.
The Warriors,
the Sixers,
Utah Jazz. I put them in my top 5.
I put them more into the top 6-10.
I have them exactly at 5.
And then you have teams like Boston's still going to be good.
Boston's going to be really good.
Once KD comes back next year, I think
the Nets are in that conversation.
The Nets are going to be nice.
Houston is still going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Denver,
Portland.
Portland.
So since you guys brought up Portland, if Portland trades Hassan Whiteside for Kevin Love, that makes them such a better team. And I was seeing that it's so feasible for them to do this.
Kevin Love is a better fit for them than
absolutely
Hassan is.
Yep.
He fits that offensive game plan so much better.
If they do that, you better watch out for Portland.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to play Hassan in the beginning of the season until Nurk gets back. And then they're going to flip him at the trade deadline for Love.
Oh, that would be amazing. That makes them contenders.
Yeah.
Chicken tenders, contenders.
I'm excited for this NBA season. I feel like we never stop talking about NBA, and we're already talking about the upcoming season. But
it's a year-round sport now.
So
we forgot about the Bucks.
Top 5, yes. Woo!
That's a top 5 team.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we
it's gonna be fun.
The Spurs are still good.
We deserve this.
Yeah, I can't believe we
drop the ball.
Spurs are still going to be good.
Spurs, that's a surprise team. They're always in the playoffs. NBA is amazing. I love it. But there's one thing I don't love about the NBA. And you know what that is? Who the F is going to be throwing challenge flags on the floor,
Hey,
tripping people up.
I appreciate you censoring yourself.
I have to. I know we have a lot of kids now listening to us. So
Appreciate that.
I want to be more of a model for the kids.
Right.
We also limited Eli to one F-bomb a show.
Fuck you, Doug.
Just drops him so much.
There it is.
Added to
That's
the
it.
contract.
You use the quota. That's it. No more for the rest of the podcast. No, in all seriousness, I don't like that the challenge flags in basketball. I think that's going to be terrible for the game.
That's so dumb.
The video replay reviews already take forever. This is just adding another element onto that. It's terrible for pace of play. It's not good for the fans that are watching at home.
So for
It's
anybody
terrible.
who doesn't know, the NBA actually implemented in-game challenge flags for head coaches next season. I don't know the details about it, how many they get, do they lose them? You know, I guess we all kind of have the
What
conception
plays-
it's going to be like the NFL. And
What
we
plays
literally
can, you
think of
can't.
a red flag going onto the court. Like,
So why do you think that it's
Somebody slips on
obviously
it,
like
just
you know,
tears
we're
ACL.
used to it happening in the NFL, but why do you think it'd be so much different in the NBA than in the NFL?
because that's going to slow down the game, and then it's going to get very, like, petty to me.
Plus, there's also
Like-
already a lot of reviews in the NBA.
Like,
Yeah, a ton of
it's like
reviews.
playing street ball, and then you guys are arguing about if it's a foul or not. You know, it's
Well, I
it's
think
so
it really
annoying.
boils
no
down.
foul. No blood, no foul.
It really boils down to what they allow
You
to
gotta
be
respect the
challenged and what
format.
they don't allow to be challenged. I think that's really, really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
Next
and I
thing
feel like
is,
they do
like-
already a good job of reviewing if it was a 3-point shot or not,
Exactly.
changing the score if they needed to. Like, what?
The NBA does a great job already
Like,
of making.
what do they
like,
need to
going back.
challenge?
I don't know. I
Oh.
hope it's not fouls.
It's
goaltend.
probably going to have to. Maybe goaltending. That would be nice.
I could see where that would be beneficial
Yeah.
because there's certain
I
times
think
where
it's going to be goaltending and then like inbounds, like out of bounds type of plays.
Like,
But the thing is,
Like
they
the
already
seconds?
review those a lot, though. You know what I mean? I feel like the majority of the reviews come from those kind of plays, in or out of bounds, or shot clock and stuff like that.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
very skeptic, NBA. You've been doing really hot this offseason, but this,
Yeah,
This is a
this-
no-go.
This might be a no-go, depending on how it works out. We could all be wrong.
And it could be something to take away. Like, I mean, you know,
I doubt that. If they're going to implement it, I don't see the NBA putting something in and then taking out. That's just not a good
Well,
PR move.
I just kind of like what Adam Silver does. Like this may not work, but it just shows like he's constantly trying to improve the product.
Well, he's
on
a
the
very
court.
progressive
Adam
commissioner.
Silver must be the best commissioner out of the 4 major sports. would
I
say.
think so. Hands
Currently,
down.
yeah, by far.
I mean, that's not hard to do when you're following up David Stern. But,
It's also not difficult when you're going against
Going
Roger
against-
Goodell.
yeah.
Roger Goodell.
You know what I mean?
Doug could do it. Never mind.
No.
Roger Goodell.
Yeah, absolutely
I'll
not.
take Roger Goodell over Doug any day. But with that being said, Doug, you have something important to do. Let's introduce the next topic.
Well, I
or
don't know
segment.
how important it really is, but we'll humor him.
This is actually ties into Eli himself. So
Okay.
we play a game on this show called On the Fence. We've done it with Nando already. We did it with, I guess, Noah Dickerson. So now it's Eli's turn. I feel like he should be
I haven't
on the
played
fence.
any games, since we started.
Yeah, you haven't. I don't think
No,
I
felt
have
like I had
either.
to throw him in here.
I think you did 60-second GM.
You're due. You're due for a game.
With the Knicks. No,
No.
not with the Knicks, with somebody.
I didn't.
Celtics.
No, I haven't done a game either.
Oh, okay.
So this is your week. Next week we got to do something for me. I want to have some fun.
All right, yeah, me too.
So we're skipping the podcast next week.
This dude's dirty.
So for people who don't know, On the Fence is basically I give Eli two different situations, players, and he kind of has to choose which one he prefers.
Rapid
It kind
fire.
of gets you to know him a little bit better, yeah.
If you
So-
don't know me already.
Well, people don't want to know you. But the first one, basketball related, we're going to do Kawhi Leonard or DeMar DeRozan. Who's the better Raptor?
Kawhi Leonard.
Is that even a question?
I got to start him off easy.
No, that was tough.
So
But I've thought about this for a while.
you're a Cowboys fan as well. So who's the better Cowboy, Deion Sanders or Emmitt Smith?
Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders is my favorite player and my idol. But the better Cowboy is Emmitt Smith.
He had a better career.
Okay. All right. And Sanders is also a Niner. Better diss track. So Marvin Bagley or Dame Lillard?
Dame Lillard. Not even close.
Dame.
Dame Sauce.
Yeah, you got to go with Dollar Dame.
All right. So we all know you're a Ronaldo fan. Which Ronaldo you like better, though? Cristiano Ronaldo or the Brazilian Ronaldo?
Can we go on to the next question?
I told him this was a bad question. I was like, "Why are you even asking him?"
The GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo. Come on.
That's an easy question.
Can I ask you a real quick just question? What would you have said if it was Cristiano Ronaldo or Zidane? Who would you prefer?
I love them both. They're two of my top three, but Cristiano.
You have to.
Okay.
All right.
The better question would have been Beckham or Zidane. But anyways.
Right. You're right.
Oh, okay, that's true. So you love Randy Moss, Eli, and you think he's the best. So which duo would you take better? Randy Moss and AJ Green versus Jerry Rice and Antonio Brown. Which pair?
Fuck you.
Ooh, I like that one.
I would
Which
take.
pair?
Oh, that's actually tough. I like the combo of Jerry Rice and AB better.
Yeah,
Hey,
for sure.
Ain't dropping that.
Yeah, AB looks like he's in beast mode. I don't know if you guys have been watching his IG post.
Let's
but
pause real quick because he just posted an IG video of him wearing like blinders on a balancing ball, 1 foot, catching balls one-handed. This man
those were,
is.
Well, you have to win.
Blinders had strobe lights.
Yeah.
Well, when Derek Carr's throwing you passes, you got to be ready for everything.
So Eli's trying to become a reality star. So which show would you prefer to be on, Big Brother or The Real World Challenge?
Ooh, the challenge. I got to be on the challenge.
That's dope.
I got to be on the challenge, but that's a good one. But Big Brother, hit me up if you're listening to
we
this.
all know
Eli's DMs are still open.
we all know you represent the 6, Eli. But where do you like living better, Toronto or O-Town, Orlando?
I don't like you throwing out where I live. But
Bro, we talk about going to
I
Universal.
love the 6. That's home. But I've established a connection, and I met y'all here, so I'm gonna go with the O.
Yo, I told you, Nando. Nando thought you were gonna go for the 6.
I thought he was gonna say the 6 too.
Look, I'm not as shallow as Nando.
He's changed. It's 2019.
You're also a wrestling fan. So which is the best wrestling finishing move, the Stone Cold Stunner or the Rock Bottom?
Bro, if you don't.
The Rock is my favorite wrestler, but I was Stone Cold Stunner anybody.
No, bro.
I'm going with the
Bottom
Stunner.
is so much
Really?
better.
I love the Stunner.
Well, the thing with the Stunner is you could pop it out of nowhere.
Anywhere, and
Kinda
also
gotta set
I
up
just
the
love
Rock
the
Bottom.
finger after. It's just the finishing touch. But The Rock's my
Alright.
favorite wrestler of all time.
This is a discussion we have off air all the time. But which is your favorite Kardashian? Is it going to be Khloe Kardashian, Kourtney Kardashian, or Kris Kardashian?
I wouldn't say all the time, Dad.
Hold on. What are the three
Chloe
again?
or Chris?
Khloe, Kourtney, or Kris? Which Kardashian?
I'm going Courtney, but I know this isn't for me. But
Ooh, but for what? Like, favorite in what way?
You know what way.
That's
I know
tough.
his answer.
I'm gonna go Chloe.
Ah, Khloe.
I'm gonna go Chloe.
Alright. We had to get you on
I don't want no
recording.
problems with Lord Disick. All right, I don't want no problems.
all right. And to finish it off, one of the best rapping beefs of all time, Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie Smalls all day. I grew up listening to East Coast music.
yeah,
Come on.
gotta go East Coast there.
I figured Biggie.
Oh
New York.
man, damn, you got me with that Kardashian question. I was
Yeah,
not
me too, bro.
expecting that.
We
That
gotta
was
get
fun.
Eli on the record.
That was a lot.
I
of
don't
fun.
know why Chris was put on there.
This man said Chris as if that was an
I'm
option.
trying to give him a different option, you know.
You think he was actually gonna take that? There's no
I'm
way.
glad he
Who
didn't
knows?
say something else.
Oh,
He surprised
no.
me with the
No.
6.
We pause right there. No more going forward
Anyways,
with that. Yeah.
um,
Anyways, on to the next topic.
Let's get into something actually kind of fun. Actually, it's really not that fun.
What do you mean?
I guess it's fun. I have a question for everyone here. What is your favorite and least favorite All-Star game out of the 4 major sports that we play here in the U.S.?
So, in my opinion, I'm a baseball fan. You guys know it. Like everyone that listens to the podcast knows that baseball is my shit. My favorite All-Star game is the MLB.
And your least?
My least favorite by far has to be the NFL.
Okay. Doug?
Question real quick. Is it like All-Star weekend or is it like
Just
the
All-Star
All-Star
festivities.
Yep, the whole thing.
the whole week? Then I'm going to do NBA.
Is your
I
favorite?
feel like, yeah, they have the best like skills challenges.
Nobody watches
The
that
All-Star
shit.
game's all right, but you get the celebrity games there too. And I think the worst has to be the NFL. Like, does anybody watch that?
Yeah,
True.
they've tried really hard to make it better in the past couple of years, but when you just have the Pro Bowl itself, it's terrible.
Yeah.
All right,
Like the
Nando.
skills challenge they've done is kind of fun with the dodgeball now too, but it's just it doesn't appeal.
No.
I gotta go with Doug. I think my favorite is NBA All-Star Weekend as well for the same reasons. They just have a mix of and a variety of things like the celebrity games, the 3-point challenges, and then the worst would be NFL, but then not far behind would be probably the MLS All-Star Game.
That's not a 4-major sport.
That's not
Yeah, it's not one of
I
the
get,
4
you're
major
right,
sports.
you're right. But yeah, the NFL would be
Get
probably
that
the
shit
weakest
out of
one.
here with that.
So I was torn between my favorite and
ass shit.
I was torn between my favorite and my least favorite. I love the NBA All-Star Weekend because of slam dunk, 3-point. I actually don't even like the slam dunk anymore. The 3-point shootout is what I look forward to. And I like seeing all the stars and all that whole festivity. But I'm actually going to go with MLB because the game, first of all, means something where no other game
the game's
does.
better. The game itself is better.
So I do like that about it. I feel like lately, not this last one, but it has been getting like running into extra innings a lot, which I don't like. But I'm gonna still go with MLB because the home run derby was amazing this year.
Shout
We'll
out.
get into that.
Big boy Pete Alonso.
Fuck that guy.
Damn.
But
Glad he should have won.
No, actually, I take that back. I got mad respect for Pete. But anyways, I'm gonna go with MLB just because I like that the game means something. Worst, I mean, we all shitted on the NFL. It is pretty bad. They may as well be playing flag football.
So on that note, how
That'd
does
be
the
more
NFL
fun.
get better?
I'm going to get to that real quick. I just want to point it out. I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but probably not. But hockey is awful as well. They have
Yeah,
2
hockey's not
games, and they break up into 2 teams, and it's just really bad. They don't know what they're doing. But I'm going to go with NFL because I expect that out of hockey. NFL, I used to like the Pro Bowl. Like when Sean Taylor lit up that punter from the Bills, like that was a great moment for the Pro Bowl.
That'll never happen again.
But yeah, it will never
So
happen again.
how does the NFL get better?
Make the game mean something.
I don't think you can.
Like money-wise. Like more money, give
I
them
think
more of
they
an
need
incentive.
Money doesn't matter.
Well, hold on, but let's be real.
They don't-
What do the fans like when it comes to football, right? They love seeing the big explosive plays. Turn that shit into a 7-on-7 flag football game. Let
Yes,
the wide
that's what
receivers
I'm
and let the running backs do
True.
their thing. Launch the ball all over the field. That'll be a lot more fun to watch.
Yeah, mix it up.
And it decreases the risk of injury.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Reason, yeah.
and that's the reason why it's turned into this because nobody wants to get injured,
Right.
right? Because you face the most injury, when you go into a football
Bro, this
field.
past Pro Bowl, Saquon Barkley and Zeke lined up as defensive linemen.
Yeah,
Like, come on, that's a joke. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You won't see that in any other.
I
major
wouldn't pay to
sport.
watch that.
Of course not. And it's been in Orlando the past couple of years, and we haven't even thought about going because it's a waste of money.
I got free tickets last year.
What's
I
better
passed
is
them up.
going out to downtown Orlando that weekend because that's when you be
Yeah,
seeing them all
that's the only thing I like about it.
Yeah.
Being here in
Look forward to
Orlando is going out.
It's great for going out for us and like the economy in Orlando, but the actual game itself is atrocious.
Yeah, honestly, let's try a 7-on-7. Maybe a little tournament. 7-on-7 tournament.
Yeah.
Kind of like NFL Street.
Yeah, make it mean something, right? Maybe
Give an
a
incentive.
huge bonus or something. But I don't know.
Get a
But
sponsor. They
it's
get a
gonna
new
be-
car.
I don't think it will ever happen because then that doesn't allow linemen and other people.
But
to
find
make
something
it.
else for the linemen to participate in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe more games, right? Like a lineman challenge or something like that.
Yeah.
some skill challenges.
Yeah,
Or
something.
even you can have 7-on-7 with linemen. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That'll
That'd
be
be
fun.
so
That'll be
funny,
funny
bro.
to watch.
you know what I mean? You have your quarterback, you have 3 wide receivers, that's 4 players, and then you do 3 linemen.
Maybe.
Or 2 linemen and a tight end. You can do whatever you really want there, and then you have like blocking.
Can you imagine Zach Martin lining up like as a wideout, catching passes from Fletcher Cox?
I totally in that scenario I totally left out the running back. But
Yeah.
you guys get what I mean. You can
Yeah.
still have linemen in that.
Yeah.
AVA.
All right, yeah. But since we're talking about All-Star games, and we kind of mentioned it, the MLB just probably had their best All-Star weekend in a long time.
That home run derby was dope. If you guys didn't watch it, I feel really
was.
bad for you. That's one of the best home run derbies we've seen maybe since Josh
Oh,
Hamilton
wow.
in New York several years ago. Vladdy Jr. put on a
My boy,
show.
He did.
Vladimir
I'm not going to
Guerrero.
even say Vladdy Jr. Vladdy
did.
Jr. and Jock Peterson put on a damn show.
And I think that was the highlight, honestly. Pete Alonso won it. But I think the highlight of the night was actually that duel between Jock and
it went
Vlad.
into like a triple overtime. So for anybody that doesn't know, the way the MLB has their home run derby set up is the top 8 guys in the league that opt in for it, they get ranked based on how many home runs they have up to the All-Star break. Those guys, so like the 1 seed plays the 8 seed, the 2 seed plays the 7 seed, and they go on individual matchups for 4 minutes. Whoever hits the most home runs in 4 minutes wins and moves on. That's essentially the reason why Vlad Jr., technically speaking, hit more home runs in the course of the Derby than Pete Alonso did. But when they went head-to-head up, Pete Alonso ended up winning.
That first round by Vladdy, though, was
It was the second round that was really crazy because he hit all his home runs, and then him and Jock were both tied after their first initial 4 minutes. And then they go on to, I think it's a 1-minute time playoff, essentially. They were tied again. At that point, they go to a 3-swing swing-off. So you get 3 swings, as many home runs you can hit with 3 swings. They tied that again, and then Vlad Jr. won it on the same thing with another 3-swing swing-off.
But Vlad Jr., didn't he in the first round
29?
He hit 29 back-to-back. So if you just look at in regular time, he hit 29 in the first 4 minutes that he had. He hit 29 in the second 4 minutes. And then he hit 22 in the last 4 minutes against Pete Alonso.
Yeah, in the course of the whole home run derby, he hit 91 home runs.
Yes.
That's the most ever by any contestant.
But, in all honesty, you can't really compare that to Josh Hamilton's performance because...
What did he hit, like 37 in the first round?
Josh Hamilton hit 27, but that was in the old format where when you hit a ball, if it didn't go out, it counted as an out and you had 10 outs.
Yeah.
So he hit 27 on 10 outs. If you actually look at and you compare the math to Vlad Jr.'s, if you look at all the ones that didn't go out for Vlad Jr., if you count his first 10 outs, he actually only hit 11 home runs. A lot of people are saying that this is the best home run derby, and I think it was the most competitive, but the best overall individual performance, I think,
was
still
Josh
remains
Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton.
I think so too.
But still, shout out to my boy Pete Alonso.
Shout out to Pete.
Yeah,
Pistol Pete.
That's actually his Instagram handle.
I know, Pistol Pete.
I've been shouting him out since spring training, telling you this guy is going to be a beast. He goes out there, wins the home run derby, then knocks in 2 RBIs in the All-Star game. He's
a great player.
He's the truth.
He definitely deserves it, and great guy, but I think it would have been a better story if Vlad won it for the MLB.
I was rooting for Vlad.
Yeah, same.
Y'all are haters. Y'all are haters.
I was at the gym watching it.
Nothing against Pete.
I just want to point out that Pete so the way the derby works, if you hit 2 balls over 440 feet in the round, you get an extra 30 seconds. Pete Alonso, each round earned that 30 seconds and never needed to use it because he consistently won on walk-off homers. So let's not forget that he had more time on his belt. He could have hit more.
Shout out to Pete. I mean, his side of the bracket was a little weaker. Vlad had a little bit. I mean, Chapman.
Ronald Acuna?
He was playing in the East.
Acuna didn't have a good performance, so I don't think so.
What? He hit 25 in the first round. He hit 20 in the second round.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking of...
he hit 19.
Bregman didn't have a good performance.
That's who I was thinking
And Bregman was on the other side of the bracket with your boy.
Well, he didn't face Vlad, though.
No, but he's still on that side of the bracket. Man. That's the weak side of the bracket.
Nah, chill. I'll take Jock and Vlad over anybody on that side. Pete and
that's different. That's different.
Okay.
Because now you got Jock that he almost won it a couple years ago, too.
Yeah, I remember his rookie year. And by the way, Pete's a rookie, and that's back-to-back rookies that won it, right? Didn't Aaron Judge?
Yeah, I think he won last year.
But
he wasn't a rookie
last year. No.
His rookie year was 2 years ago, but he won it his rookie year.
Yeah, that's not back-to-back rookies.
Yeah,
Who won the Derby last year?
Who knows? It was horrible.
Oh, man.
That was forgettable.
The year.
Why am I drawing a blank? Okay, whatever. No, great. I think this was one of the better MLB All-Star weekends in a long time.
Yeah, and
it was Harper.
Oh, yeah, Harper. Totally forgot about that.
What happened?
That was Harper won the Derby last year.
Oh, yes, Bryce.
It was his so long to Washington, essentially.
And I want to give a big shout-out to Shane Green, the closer for the Detroit Tigers, making it to the All-Star game and having a good 1-2-3 inning. He went to our high school. I've actually had a couple of bats against him. Great guy. He's very humble.
Struck out every time.
Doug, shut up, because you were watching from the stands.
Don't make me bring up your batting average.
Please do it. Ooh. Don't let me bring up your grade point average. Shut the fuck up.
That's higher than your batting average.
Oh, yeah, you wish. Anyways, See, look, man, I'm done, man. Shane, he just.
Damn, he
I'm
was trying to
done.
give a shout out to his
No,
boy,
no,
and you
no,
had to
no,
go
no.
ruin that, Doug. Damn.
He should.
Damn, that was dirty, Doug. What you guys want to talk about next?
What's
No,
next?
you know what else was dirty? I don't know if y'all caught it, actually, and we're gonna switch it up a little bit. But did anybody watch UFC 239?
Oh, I already know what you're going to talk about. That was
my
filthy.
goodness.
That wasn't even filthy. That was disrespectful.
That was something else. Bro,
That was the most
George-
disrespect I've ever seen in my
George
entire life.
Masvidal literally sent a flying knee kick from the heavens to Ben Askren.
Straight into the temple, bro. Knocked him out cold immediately. Then gets in his face as he's still knocked out cold. He hits him another 2 times.
Ruthless.
Gets pulled off.
Ruthless.
Starts slamming on the mat, yelling in his face. Then he hits everybody with the dead fish. If y'all don't know what that
it was
is.
savage.
A celebration. I think it became popular through FIFA.
Yeah, you've never played Pro Clubs FIFA. If
Oh.
you've
Oh, for real.
That's
Bro,
my favorite move.
The
bro.
dead fish is literally somebody just jumps into the air,
Flopping.
stiffens up,
It's
and
the
just
most
hits the ground.
disrespectful thing you could do.
Super disrespectful. Everyone that knows FIFA knows that that's a slap in the face if somebody hits you
But
with
the
that.
thing is that Ben Askren was talking so much crap before the fight.
But that
like-
still doesn't, in my book, that doesn't justify someone not having good like sportsmanship.
I mean, he had sportsmanship because after he lost, he didn't really. What could he say?
No.
Right,
I'm
actually-
talking about the guy who won hit the dead fish.
No, I'm saying, but he said Ben had like
It
bad
was knocked out.
sportsmanship.
How could he pull
No,
out?
no,
a
I'm
No,
saying
he had bad
Ben
sportsmanship
Askren-
leading up to the fight.
Yeah, leading up. After he was very humbled, he was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
congrats to him, and blah blah blah. What can I do?"
What I'm saying is that for the guy that won, I'm not a big fan of, if someone else is, not acting up to standards or whatever, that doesn't mean you go low as well. This guy, even as of today, he's still talking about the guy. Like, and this fight was this past weekend. This man said that he go ahead, Nando. Say, I know what you're gonna say.
He said if this man sees him at Whole Foods, he's gonna beat the shit out of him.
Like, that's
So
funny.
disrespectful.
That's funny as hell.
That's
But like,
hilarious. What? At Whole Foods.
that's so bad.
Oh man.
I get it's a brutal sport,
He ain't shopping there no more.
act like you've won before. That's my thing.
Man, Whole
True.
Foods shoppers, I'll be on the lookout.
And then there was also the John Jones fight versus Thiago Santos.
That was
that
the most
was
boring shit ever.
boring.
But did you guys see that Thiago Santos was he had
was
like
hurt.
a broken like almost every muscle in
Yeah,
his body.
he
like,
tore
his
a
leg.
whole bunch of shit.
MCL, PCL.
He's
all
not
these
fighting for the rest of 2019. He's not even training for the rest of 2019.
Well, they both left in wheelchairs.
But that was a really, really boring
It was
fight.
a technical fight.
John Jones pulled a Mayweather. He just got his points in and
Learning from the best, I see.
he got his points and walked away. That's not what you want to see with the UFC fight. And
Yeah, not from a UFC fight.
and that was bad. And that's to think that was the main event fight, and the fight before it was actually what everyone's still talking about.
I'm going to tell you this. Amanda Nunes, in her prime right
Nunes.
now, is a
Yeah.
10 times better fighter
Oh.
than Ronda Rousey ever was in her prime.
She caught Holly Holm with a mean kick.
Facts. Amanda Nunes is the freaking
best woman
monster,
fighter
bro.
of all time is
Oh
Amanda
my
Nunes.
god!
I just want to put that out there.
That was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a co-main event with Amanda Nunes and John Jones. But
Yeah,
It was a great
technically
fight.
speaking, yeah, it was a code. But everybody was more hyped about the John Jones thing. I think.
yeah, for sure.
So how do you guys feel about that statement I just made?
I agree. I
Yeah.
think this kind of like the win, the overpowering win over Holly Holm really solidified what you're saying. I agree by far.
I think
She-
as a fighter, yes. But I think Ronda Rousey had like the greatest run ever.
Well, I think at the same time, that was because of like the attraction she got from the media, and she was the first woman
Dude,
to actually get
but
that
I
big
also
of a
don't
run.
think that she faced the best competition. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of other decent fighters at that time to give Ronda Rousey like a good run for her money.
So
Now
that's
there's, like,
what makes
Cyborg.
Nunes run a little bit more impressive, you're saying?
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah, because she's going. I mean, look who she just beat the shit out of. Holly
Oh,
Holm's
no.
a great fighter.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she beat
Granted,
Ronda
she-
too, so
Granted, Holly Holm is 37 years old now,
yeah.
but she's still a great fighter.
Yeah.
She destroyed Cyborg, even though Cyborg was old. Right?
Yeah,
Sure.
but Cyborg was at towards the end of her career
Yeah.
at that time. But I definitely think what Nunez is doing now is a lot more impressive. I just don't
Yeah.
think it's not getting as much media attention as Ronda Rousey.
And that's the thing, yeah. But I
It's
think if
because
they got
Ronda
both
had
same
the
attention-
more showmanship.
But Correct, but I also think that at the same time, you also had Conor McGregor, too.
I think she was a little bit before Connor's run.
A little before.
Yeah, she was a little
Was
bit
it?
before. Yeah.
Not too much, but a little before. And
Ronda
also, she
was
was
talking
maybe
about
like
fighting Floyd Mayweather before Connor even thought about
But
that.
she's a showman, and I think that's what...
and
that even-
people were actually believing that she can beat up Floyd Mayweather.
No.
which I thought was so disrespectful.
The most
And
disrespectful
and
shit
I don't-
I've ever heard.
I don't like Floyd Mayweather like that.
Me either.
But I was like,
But that's
come
also
on
people
now.
that don't know combat sports.
There was a lot of people siding with Ronda. Man, that was crazy.
I think... excuse me. I think... like I said, Ronda Rousey benefited from having a great media presence. It's proven now. She's in the WWE.
And the UFC really got behind Ronda.
Well, that was the first
Like
time
Dana
that
White.
a female UFC fighter really got a lot of media attention.
Yeah.
And
So-
if you think about it, she really paved the way for like the women's division to kind
of
where it is
course.
today.
Of
She
course.
shed a really big light on the women's
Yeah,
division.
and it was good for, I think, women's sports in general, because there's a lot of times where you see a lot of dominant women, and you don't really see, sometimes women get criticized for big, boisterous, a little bit of arrogance, and you didn't really get to see that until Ronda Rousey really, she owned it, she didn't get criticized for it, and I think that paved the way very well for other women athletes to, celebrate. You see the women's national team, which we'll get into that in a little bit. They're going nuts. I think that was really, really important as well. That's very underrated for what Ronda Rousey did.
Yeah, I agree.
So, while we're on it, do you guys want to talk about the Women's World Cup?
We'll touch on it a little bit. Yeah. shout out to the U.S. First of
We
all.
got a lot of cups. To talk about.
You guys
sure.
had a heck of a tournament. I think it was really impressive. Especially this time about, more than the 2015 run, because I felt like you guys beat the best teams to get to where you were at, beating France, England, and Netherlands.
Even though they did kind of luck out a little bit. But
Yeah, I felt like they had some luck on their side, but still impressive nonetheless, beating those teams. Where Netherlands runs to the final wasn't as impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alex Morgan won an ESPYs
for best female athlete.
female athlete. Yeah,
Well
and the
deserved.
women's national team won best.
Team, I think.
Yeah. Best
Well,
team.
winning back-to-back World Cups is nothing to,
Yeah.
nothing
Shout out to Megan Rapinoe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she's a boss.
She is a boss. I love the way the women's team just
Carries himself.
they care. Yes. They
Did any-
own who they are. They're good. They're badass.
And they're not afraid to tell you.
Exactly.
Oh, I agree. Did anybody see like their Instagram stories or Snapchat?
Yeah, you
stories?
see Alex
What?
Morgan twerking?
Yeah, she was twerking all over the place.
I was
I
like,
mean, she can use some, some tips and, some pointers. But, Morgan, do your thing.
No, facts. No, I think it was great. Like I said before, you didn't really get to see so much in women's sports. You don't really get to see women really own, and be like, yeah, I'm the best, because I feel like they get criticized for it a lot. And it's nice to see the women's team really going out there and be like, we're the shit, and we're gonna let everyone know that we are the shit.
I love it.
Super.
And
Showing
I've
off the
never
men's
been a
national
fan
team.
of the U.S. women team at all. But I have to bow my hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think they're winning a lot of people over.
They
which
are,
is
but
awesome.
actually, to be honest though, the U.S. women's team, they've probably been the best women's team, throughout history. And the gap was really big.
Yeah.
I think the gap is closing now.
Correct.
Oh yeah, with
Those
Especially-
European teams are now catching up. to
Especially
them.
with France.
France. Yeah.
France is a
But I
very,
think-
very good team.
But I think that only just helps the women's sports, women's soccer specifically. 'Cause
Correct.
It's awesome to have that many competitive teams.
I want to know who's going to emerge as that next star, because Rapinoe, Carly Lloyd, those girls, they look like they might be done, right?
Morgan maybe only has one more.
Morgan
World Cup
probably
in
has
her.
one more. Somebody
Julie
needs
Ertz
to be
probably has
that
one.
next face. They had Abby Wambach, and then after that, it was Carly Lloyd, and after Lloyd, it was Rapinoe and kind of Morgan.
They had a good succession of
Yes.
stars for that team.
We don't know right now who's that young buck. We haven't heard of them yet. So
We got 4 years to figure it out.
Young
Yeah.
Doe.
There was a girl. She scored actually in the final. Rose Lavelle, who has a lot of attraction. So maybe she'll be like the next up and coming star.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Maybe Zach Ertz, his wife plays on the team.
Oh, Julie? Yeah.
Julie
She's
is a
defense-
little
she's
bit
defensive.
older though.
And then Drew Holiday's wife too.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
That's
Drew
cool.
Holiday's wife.
Did not know that at all.
I don't think her last name is Holiday.
That might be why. So
So
for
maybe
as
it's his
much-
girlfriend. Sorry, I think it's his girlfriend.
soon
But-
to be, maybe.
Yeah.
For as much as, congratulations and kind of, accolades we give the women's team, what's going on with the men's team, man?
Bro. Did you watch the game? Did you guys watch it?
Dude, they're disgraceful.
I watched
Come
the first
on.
half.
Bro.
Look,
We know what their offense is? They just throw it up to Pulisic and they're like, yo, do your thing. That's it. That's all they do.
I just want this to be said. Their greatest rivals is Mexico, right? If
Yeah.
they beat Mexico, then they think they're on top,
And it's a constant back and forth.
right?
Both countries,
Not-
though. That's
not
the same thing with
as
Mexico.
of lately. As of lately, they've been getting their ass beat by Mexico. The last, I would say, 5 to 8 years.
Couple of years, yeah.
Bro,
No.
they didn't even qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, the last
I
5 to 8
think Costa
years.
Rica has better matches against Mexico.
Facts.
But the point I want to make, they just lost to Mexico's B team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
They brought the best they had, and they lost to Mexico's B team. Now, the game wasn't horrible. They didn't get outplayed by that much.
I felt like they
Mexico
got pretty
didn't play
well.
well.
Yeah,
And
Mexico
they still-
didn't play good. And I think U.S. played one of their better matches. They had a lot of opportunities.
But I think that should in and of itself say a
Oh,
lot.
yeah, that says a lot, right? I mean, imagine if there are players like Hervin Lozano and Corona and Hector Herrera. It would be a no-brainer. It would have been a 5-0.
So I feel bad for Pulisic because
Bro,
He doesn't
He's
deserve to
easily
be
the
American.
best player on the team.
he's the best player by far, and he's a very talented player, and he's regarded worldwide as a very talented player. He might not be one of the best in the world, but he's a very serviceable.
He's respected.
Exactly.
He's respected overseas.
And he's having to play with these bums that America keeps putting
I feel
out.
bad for him. He should change his
Citizenship?
nationality. Yeah,
Nationality.
citizenship.
Yeah, go be German or
be
something.
German.
Well, maybe I don't know if he makes
No,
that
no,
German
he
team.
won't make it onto the
He
team.
won't make that.
Go be
German
Mexican.
team. At least he'll beat the States. No, I genuinely feel bad for him. He
Who's the
is
second best player he plays with? Josie
Altidore,
Altidore?
honestly.
Yeah,
Bro, Michael Badley is trash, bro. Like,
Michael
this
Bell.
dude,
Don't even
he
get me
gives up the
started.
ball in the midfield so much.
He's old, though.
My
just
dad
going
called
back
him
to
Cooled On.
Pulisic real quick is we as Americans are doing a disservice. Well, I'm gonna say Americans as in me and Doug because the other two guys they're not.
I'm Canadian out here.
we got a
My
Canadian.
boy Alfonso Davies.
So no. In all seriousness, as people that watch soccer and watch the U.S. play, we need to do a better job of celebrating a guy like Pulisic because he's the best player we've had in just in
Period.
terms of
Donovan.
talent.
No,
like
I'm gonna say
I think
period.
ever.
So,
And a lot of people don't
I
know
agree.
him. He's not a
Donovan's
household
pretty
name,
good.
and he needs to be. And it's unfortunate that we continue to roll out bottom level talent for a guy that should be known as the best to ever play soccer in the U.S.
Pulisic is only 22,
Yes.
Probably around there, yeah.
right? And he's already to me better than Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan.
Yeah.
The kid's talent is
He might not have the
world
accolades
class.
So
yeah.
you know what's interesting? So he was playing at Borussia for a while. Now he's going to be playing in Chelsea. So
That's going to bring
how
a
much-
spotlight to him.
Yeah, absolutely. But how much of obviously when you play for big clubs like that, you get so much more like high end like maybe training, kind of the player development. Do you think that has played a lot of into like maybe that the American guys that they don't get training and player development like you do in those big like English clubs or big international
easily.
clubs?
Easily they don't.
Yeah, so I mean I think that helps Pulisic obviously. You know what I
And
mean?
by the way,
He's good enough to be over there, though.
and he's
Those
only
players-
20 years old.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
only
he's
20.
He's only 20 years old.
Damn, so the youth should have used him in the Under-21 World Cup as
Yeah.
well. Maybe they would have won that. Actually, Timothy Way, who did play in the Under-21 Cup, probably should have played with the senior team.
squad.
Yeah.
They could have used him for sure.
Yeah. He's
Over Josie. Yeah.
Josie missed so many shots, bro.
Yeah. You look like Lukaku out there.
But
Don't try Lukaku like that.
But Altidore is another guy that coming up, he got a lot of media attention. He was supposed to be the guy for a very long time, and he's underperformed his entire career.
I mean, even though he'll go down as one of the best Americans just by default.
But he never lived up to the hype that came with him.
Not to his fullest potential. No,
I remember
definitely not.
being younger and like what?
I remember
10
Freddie
years
Adu
ago.
being a
I was
big-
Oh.
I was trying not to mention that name
Freddie
on this
Adu.
podcast.
and he
Was
is
another one.
basura.
Freddie Adu is hosting, I think, clinicals in somewhere in like Kuwait or something. in
Yeah,
the Middle
Freddie
East.
Adu. When I remember being a little kid and being like, "Oh, this is the guy this is like American
Not even
soccer."
American, just like the world. He was supposed to be the guy.
and he never showed up to shit.
I don't know why we thought that. He had one great MLS season.
No.
Yeah,
16 years old, so like we were like,
I
oh
think the
damn.
U.S. was so desperate for some talent. They're like,
True.
this guy's
That's
the next
back
big
when
thing.
the MLS used to take their penalty kicks like a hockey.
I know.
Like a hockey shootout. Where they would have to run up with the soccer ball and deke out the keeper and score. It's awful and disgusting to watch. Look that up on YouTube.
I
If
don't
you want a
know.
good
what
laugh.
could,
Don't look it up.
you know what could be interesting? So obviously we haven't had a lot of success with like American born, just pure American born players. So do you see like the US national team maybe mixing in like, French American players or like German American
They
players?
tried
Listen,
that.
they have to do something.
They've
Yeah.
been
We
bringing
had
a
so
lot of
many
German.
American players when what's his name? The old coach.
Klinsmann, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is it Klinsmann?
Jurgen Klinsmann.
Yeah, Jurgen Klinsmann.
yeah. But
So-
that didn't work.
While we're talking about winners, another winner did happen. And that's in the Copa America, where Doug beat
Yay.
Nando. I mean, Brazil beat Peru. Sorry.
That's you.
All right.
I'll let you guys talk
Hold
some
on,
shit.
hold on. But before we talk about that game,
Why?
because that's we need to end with that. We need to end soccer with that game. I want to talk about Messi
Get ready, Nando.
Oh man,
I think my
don't
podcast
get me started.
cut off.
because I want to talk about Messi blaming the refs for the loss.
True.
I mean-
Specifically against Brazil, which there was some questionable calls, but still to make a
Bro.
statement and say that the refereeing is corrupted and it's all conspired against Argentina and him.
You always give Messi shit for not being outspoken and not being like
Yeah,
boisterous.
but I didn't tell him to go throw the whole referees for the Copa America
Listen,
underneath
if
the bus
you're-
because you lost the game.
If you're one of the best players or considered to be one of the best players in your sport, and you result to blaming the refs, that immediately
He looks like a
takes-
crybaby
yes.
to me.
And you don't. First of all, you don't see LeBron doing something like that. He never blames the refs.
Yeah,
And it
only.
wasn't even a bad coached or a bad refed game. Like
I mean, there were some questionable calls.
I don't know. That red card was kind of rough.
Sure, we want
against
to talk
Chile,
about red
that was
cards. We'll
bad.
talk about it in the Brazil.
Yeah.
but
talk
yes,
about red cards.
going back to Messi. Yeah, I think. Yeah, he shouldn't have maybe gone out on a limb and said that. I think Danny Alves came out and said like that was bad as well, and they're good friends. So
Yeah, that's really bad of him. Like Danny said, high-profile stars don't do that. Like,
Do you
we
think
leave
that's
that
Messi trying to find a scapegoat for his poor international career?
maybe, but also, as much as I hate him doing that, and I think he should get a lot of crap for it, and he might get penalized for it, I think by him doing that, I think he might have won over some of the fans in Argentina. For, I guess, like Nando said, stepping up and saying something.
Finally having
and
a voice.
having a voice and speaking up for the nation, where they've almost turned their backs from him because they don't feel like he's passionate enough or he's proud to be Argentinian. Like they've questioned that about him, the people, and him
True.
stepping up
Did
and
he
saying
retire again?
Yeah.
not yet.
this. Right? But him
Keep a
stepping up and
lookout for
saying
next
this,
week or two.
which we all think it's a poor move. I think it kind of won some of the
And it's not
Argentinians
just,
back.
in my opinion, it's not just with this situation. I think anytime you blame refereeing or officiating, it makes you look weak. It makes you look like you're making excuses for a potential bad performance. I think it goes to greater lengths to just own up and just say, hey, we didn't perform the way we needed to. When you resort to the referees, it doesn't show like you have a lot of accountability for the outcome.
Do you think he should be fined or something?
I don't know
I think
about
players
that.
have been fined for less. It's going to be under review, I think. So I mean, it's just I mean, I wouldn't be mad or upset. Like
I
if
mean,
he didn't.
I
If he
guess.
did. Sorry.
All I'm gonna say is this doesn't surprise me. This is a messy move.
All right, so now let's talk about that finals.
All right, everyone. So that was our podcast for today.
Doug, how you feeling?
Nando.
How you feeling?
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm happy. How do you feel, Nando?
Of course you're happy. Doug was texting me throughout the game like, Yeah,
We beat you with 10
this
men.
is how it's gonna be.
We beat you with 10 men.
So you guys mentioned that red card earlier. Go into that a little bit.
That's a joke of a red card.
Yeah,
So-
that was undeserving.
That
It
was really bad. but-
Yeah, the second yellow.
Yeah, the
was,
first yellow.
the first
was
yellow
deserving.
was deserving
Yeah.
for
The
Gabriel
second
Jesus.
yellow, I was shook. I was like, you gave him a yellow for that?
Well, let's
Yeah,
talk about Jesus and his game. The guy had probably his most memorable game in a Brazil
He is
jersey ever.
Easily
and
the
he
best
choose-
striker on the Brazilian national team right now.
I
And I just-
disagree.
I like how
I'll
he just
still
chooses
disagree
to go
with
off
that, Doug.
against Peru, but okay.
The best
He
He
striker.
had a good Copa.
He had a good
Mm,
game. Not really.
No,
No,
'cause
he had a good
he had a
Copa.
good Copa. He had a good last 2 games of the Copa.
I actually think though, going
for-
back to your point, Doug, about Gabriel Jesus, I think I would rather have
Firmino.
striking
yes,
up top.
Firmino's still your best striker on that team.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And it takes nothing away from the creativity of Jesus. I just think that Firmino's I could trust him a little
He's
bit.
more polished.
Yeah,
Right.
Jesus is very flashy, and I mean, everyone is on Brazil.
But he doesn't finish at a high percentage. Where Firmino is a little bit more clinical with his as a striker.
Yeah. Jesus did have that nasty no-look pass, though.
Bro, his
That was
assist
I
for the
think-
first goal was disgusting.
Yeah, I think they just play better with Jesus instead of Firmino. But I see where you guys come from, where Firmino's more effective.
They play with them both, Doug. They were playing with both of them. On the
I
pitch.
know, but I'm just saying, like, as like the
You're
main
saying
striker.
when the offense is running through
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I think that if you look at the Brazil team, obviously, at the end of the day, I was upset, but shout out to them. They did their job. But when you look at their squad now, that guy Everton on that left-hand side, he's nice, bro.
Yeah, he's
Like,
disgusting.
out there
So
putting his-
let me ask you this: the guy he was replacing was Neymar.
Mhm.
Is Brazil a better team without Neymar?
Let me say this, because I was thinking about this deeply. I
Yes.
think
He
we
was
are a better
pondering.
team without Neymar. I think when Neymar plays, we rely too much on him.
I don't want to say that they're a better team without Neymar, but I don't
The
think
There's definitely better
chemistry,
team
the
chemistry.
chemistry looks better without. It might be a Kyrie situation. All right.
I think they're the same with in terms of talent level, but the chemistry puts them over the top.
They're
Yeah.
better chemistry because they have to play with each other without Neymar. But when Neymar's on there, his talent is unspoken.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
always
I
that
think-
factor.
I think they have the potential to be better, but you just never see it.
You never see. And I've actually
Yeah.
seen a video of some Brazil fans saying that they don't want Neymar back. They rather have. She was naming people. She was like, "We don't need Neymar. We have Jesus. We have Alisson." She was going off, and the people were cheering behind her. So, kind of seeing. We were talking about Messi losing the Argentinian fans. I think Neymar.
Might be
Because
losing
he
that
always
Brazilian favor.
underperforms. He's another Messi.
But,
Yeah,
I
and we've
mean-
talked about Neymar's, how
Yeah.
underrated he is before. I don't really want to get
And
into
he's a
that again.
diva.
But
Yeah, that's true, and he's also gotten into some heated comments throughout this past year, and so that also doesn't affect his image. So
Neymar reminds me more of a Ronaldinho player. Very flashy. I think he's one of the most overrated.
so
Ronaldinho?
Yes.
last
He
note,
flamed out quick.
last note, and we'll wrap this up, and we'll actually wrap the podcast up after this. But Fernando, for Peru, where do they go from here?
I think you have to look at your starting to rebuild young players. Guerrero's obviously getting really old now.
Yeah, get that dud
Farfan.
off the field.
But let's
Hey,
let's be
relax.
real. Let's be very honest
So
real
this
quick.
man
Hold
said
on.
that Guerrero looked like one of the most angriest guys on the pitch, but
I wouldn't want my kids around him.
him.
I'll say that.
He's actually a pretty good-hearted guy. He's done a lot for the community in Peru. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
He
a
said
good
'cause of
tax
his
break.
tax.
I feel bad for Peru because I feel like this is not a level that they're going to be able to get to again
Ever again.
anytime soon.
Ever,
In the
I won't
history
say ever again.
of Peru.
Yeah, I wouldn't say ever again, but obviously right now we were riding on the World Cup high, getting into the World Cup.
This
after
was
so
their
many
chance.
Years.
This was their
It
chance.
It was. But I think that you have to look at your their player development, and you could see the level of quality, the difference in quality when Brazil was on the pitch than Peru in both games. Really, more in the first game than the last game.
Yeah,
True.
I gotta applaud Peru because they played well, even though they were clearly outmatched in talent.
I think it's
And
great for the Peruvian people because maybe that sparks more people to attempt to get to that level in terms of, profession and being able to be a professional soccer player, maybe that breeds more talent. This is a good stepping stone for them. But I just don't foresee them being at this same position for
it's definitely to hop on that. It's a good building block for them. It's how they capitalize and grow their players.
Correct.
And I think that at the end, of course, we would have loved to win, but I think it was still pretty successful, tourney.
Oh, absolutely.
We knocked out the previous champs.
That was their best game of the tournament.
That was a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. We were a little lucky against Uruguay. We squeezed out a dub against them. And I
Uruguay
think that
was another
if
team.
Farfan would have been playing, I think it would have been a little bit different. We would have had more offense coming out.
Okay, and then Brazil can say if Neymar was playing, then you guys would have lost 8-0.
Yeah, but we play better with Farfan than Brazil does with Neymar.
That's very true.
I mean, you say that, but I think you played your best game when he went out.
Well, I think more players rose to the occasion when that happened.
Exactly. That's just one game.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's one of those times where people just step up. I don't think that's a performance thing that they can do over and over again.
You could have used some more handballs.
I knew you were gonna add that in there.
Maybe you should try coaching the Peru national team.
I'm gonna send a nicely worded email.
Yeah. Send them your resume. Just let them know what was good.
I got you.
I tore 7 ACLs, 3 PCLs.
Smart home expert.
Let's not bring those false accusations back.
I've ended one person's career.
So, guys, hope you enjoyed the podcast.
No, in all seriousness, that wraps up everything that we got for this week's episode.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Big things to come soon, so be on the lookout. Check the social medias.
Yes.
A lot of exciting things happening, guys.
Tell your friends about us.
Please.
Put us on.
Get us on the map.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, guys.